Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today on Playtex Racing, we're going to be changing out some lights on my white Jeep Cherokee here. I've already done it on these, but I want to take you through the whole process and show you how I did it and why I did it. I hate the factory lights on these Jeep Cherokees. They just don't work off-road. These are my off-road rigs. I do drive them on road just a little bit. By no means are they street legal. we'll leave it at that. But we're going to design some mounts that goes in there and then wire them up. And eventually this is going to be on a shop so that you can buy this kit, and it's just going to be plug and play. You have the drill, you have the self-tap 4 holes, and plug it in wiring, and that's going to be it. But I'm going to do all the R&D. I'm going to do the 3D printing, and I'm going to do everything for y'all. So let's get started. So these lights have two different functions. You've got an X in the center, that's amber, and then you've got white LED lights around it. They're a lot brighter than your factory lights, and then I just like the X amber. I think it looks cool. Really adds that tough look to the Jeep Cherokee. So let's do some measurements so that I can plop it in my 3D what is it called, 3D drafting program on my computer, and get it 3D printed out for y'all. Made some rough sketch, right? May look like a mess to y'all, but it makes sense to me, and I just need something that I have all my dimensions on, and so that I can just plug it in my 3D modeling tool, and it'll spit me out one of these perfectly if I wanted to. And so yeah, let's go ahead and plug it in the computer and get it 3D printed. After about 8 hours of print time, here we are. We've got 2 brackets that my lights are going to fit in perfectly. And these are like omnidirectional. You can put these any which way you want. It doesn't matter. There's no really wrong way to install these. Once I show y'all, it's kind of cut and dry, but there we go. I did white, and I also have a black. Let's get these lights off on the white Jeep Cherokee over here. Let's take off these headlights on my Jeep Cherokee here, and I believe it's all just a Phillips. You're going to take out this marker first, 2 Phillips, disconnect the light, and then we want to get this bezel out. After we get the bezel out, we should be able to take out the light, and I believe it's all just a Phillips screwdriver. So let's do that now, and we'll disconnect it. We got the light out. Did drop it, so I broke mine, but I don't really care. I'm not going to be using it. The only tricky part was there's this spring right here. I had to get some needle nose and just kind of work with it, and finally it came out. Once I was able to do that, I was able to get my hand back there and get the wiring off. So instead of taking the 4 screws out that are right there, I took off it actually goes like this, the screws, the adjustment screws right here and right here, and that allows me to take out the full back bracket as well, because we're not going to be needing that at all. So If you want, you can take off those 4 screws, take the light out, maybe it'd be easier to get that spring at that moment. But I went ahead, just took off those 2 with the whole bracket. Sometimes these screws get rusty, so they're really hard to get out. And then you're left with these. You can leave these in if you want, or like me, I'm not going to be putting any headlights because this is my off-road Jeep and purely off-road Jeeps. So I'm just going to push those up in, push them out, done. The wiring color codes are different. From 95 to this is an 89. The light is still the same, the light housing is still the same, but I'm starting to see that the color codes, the wires are not the same color. I can tell you this though, black right here is going to be ground, and you'll see why that's important later on in the video. It's a real simple in and out type of job. This is going to be real simple, and there's, even if you're not familiar with wiring at all, there's no harm that's going to be done, and you can't mess up anything. This is a real easy install. This is different on this Jeep. Don't know what that's going to do for my bracket. The bracket's going to come up and go along here. I honestly am just going to say screw it and put the bracket over it and just go ahead and drill her in. So we've got a black, 2 whites, and 2 greens. You could, if you know how to use a multimeter, you could turn on lights, high beams and low beams, and probe one side to ground and one side to this, and see which one is your high beam and which one's your low beam, and go about it that way. But if you don't have a multimeter, this channel is all about your everyday guy that does these things, and so don't worry about it. So I'm going to do it without a multimeter, and the reason there's going to be 2 whites and 2 greens going to the same pin is because it comes over from that light. That light's going to have only 1 green and 1 white, and then this one it'll just hit this one first and go to that one. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to cut the wires, and I'm going to be using these. They're like an upgrade from like wire nuts, but these are a lot better. I like them a lot better just because you can take them on and off, and I mean, I just like them. You can put 2 wires on one side, just as much as you can try to cram into it. I'm sure there is a code for it, but they do make like a 3-bank one and 2-bank. I'm using the 2-bank one, and we'll go from there. So let's cut these wires, and I'll be right back. Stripped and put in. Put two wires into 1 bank of it, and then left the other side open, so you see 2 wires, green, black, all separated, and onto the light. Now, in the kit that I will be providing, there will be a schematic to show you what wire does what. But we've got black, red, and yellow. Black is going to be your ground, and black is going to go to black. On my 95 it was black going to ground, and my 89, so I'm assuming on all your models that black is always going to be your ground. So this one is the only wire you got to worry about, this black wire. It has to go to ground. So black to black, and then on the other 2 just plug them into either red or yellow. Red right here is going to be your white light, the light that's all around the X. The yellow wire is going to be your amber, which is the X amber in the center. So what we're going to do is just going to, without a multimeter, just going to plug it in. Black goes to black, and then these 2 I'm just going to go to either green or yellow on this one, or green or yellow on this one, doesn't really matter. And then we're going to turn on the lights inside and see if that's how we want it. If we want the amber on daytime running lights, or the regular lights that come on these Jeep Cherokees, and then what I want is when we go to high beams, it'll turn on the light, all the bright white light. So let's get that plugged in, and we'll be okay. Wired in. Black goes to black. I have red going to green, and I have yellow going to my white. Now, do not on the green and the white from the Jeep, that may not be the colors from your Jeep. That's okay. All I know is black is going to be your ground. So we may have to switch the yellow and the red wire, but to do so, we first are going to, did this come out? We're going to turn on the lights and see if that's how I want them. I'm going to turn on my just regular headlights, and I really want just the X amber to show as of right now. I don't know if I can. Okay, so I have the white light showing as of right now, and only the headlights are on. So that means we're going to need to switch the wires around. So let's see real quick. There we go. And that is high beams. So that means that I'm going to switch the two wires around, so when high beams come on, it's going to be the white light, and when the regular headlights are on, it's just going to be the X. So let's just switch it around and we'll be good. I switched the red and yellow wire around, so now when I turn on my regular headlights, it should just be the X right now, and it is. So now when I switch to high beams, should just be the white light, and it is. Awesome. Next step I'm going to do is just tuck all this away, and I'm going to line this up how I want. And what I'm going to do is that top edge, you see this top edge, I'm going to kind of line it up with that, and then this edge over here kind of line up with this side of this square hole, and going to self tap it in with the provided self tap screws that I put in the kit. And there you have it. One Playtex racing light installed. I just realized that my logo is backwards here, but I'll just put the logo backwards in the other one. Don't really want to take it out, but I think it's a great mean look for the Jeep Cherokee. I don't have to do any adjustment just because of how these lights are, and you'll see in a later video, later in this video, how much light these actually give off. It is pointed down a little bit just because of the core support in there, plus my driveway is sloped, but how much light these give off is phenomenal, right? Up, down, left, right, it is so much light that you do not need to do any kind of minute adjustment like on the regular headlights. Stand back. I think these are just a great option. I will tell you this, I put in this screw first, and then I kind of tilted it how I liked. I wanted to line this line up a little bit with this line, and see it lined up with that side of this square hole, and then I popped in this one, and this one, kind of locked it in there, and after that it's just a rinse and repeat on this side. Should be about a 20-30 minute install for you. I got the X on right now. These are just your daytime, or not daytime, you're just regular headlights. And then here are the brights. Now, obviously it's sunny out, but these are bright as hell at night, and they light up the whole trail. And there you have it. If you like content like this, like, subscribe to the channel, and